class, happy Monday. I want you to get out your weekly schedule right now, and you'll notice that this was week 1. We're all done with it. So you can take that out, and right behind it will be there it is, week 2. So we are in week 2 now on Monday, and we're going to go right into math. And what are we doing in math today? Let's take a look. We will tell time to the hour and half hour. What do you know? That's what we were doing last week. So we're going to keep doing that today as well. So go ahead and get your math stuff out, and here we go. So let's review what we learned last week. We know that this big hand, when it points to the 12, that means it's o'clock, right? And when the little hand is pointing to a number, that tells us what time it is. So this would be 9 o'clock. It's not 12 o'clock. It's what the little hand is pointing at. So it's 9 o'clock. If the big hand is halfway around our clock, then that would become 9:30 or 9:30. Let's do it with another one, and let's practice writing it down. So take a look at this time. How would we write what time it is right now? We look at our little hand, it's on the 7, and our big hand is on the 12. So that would be written out 7 o'clock. And you guys did a wonderful job at doing that last week. Now, if this little hand moves halfway in between the 7 and the 8, and the big hand comes all the way down to the 6, halfway around our clock face, then it's what time? And remember, it goes a lot slower than that. It doesn't, we can't just go zoop, but this is a fake clock. What time is that? That would be 1/2 and it's 1/2 this number, which is 7. And again, you guys did awesome at that last week. So we have 7:30. How would we write that out? We can say it is 7:30. And we write 7, those 2 dots, or colon, is what we call it, 7:30, because 30 is half of 60, and 60 minutes is an hour. Good job. Now take a look at this clock. We know that it's almost on the 12, and the 2, it's not quite on there yet, but it's almost there. That means that it's a little bit before, what time? It's a little bit before 2. It's almost 2, right? So when we have a little bit before, or when it's almost, those hands are going to be almost to that spot. And that means that we can tell that it's almost time to go to soccer, or it's almost time to go to bed. Or say it was almost 3 o'clock, it would be almost time to go home. Is it time to go home yet, Miss Darcy? Is it time to eat lunch yet? Oh, not yet. Look at the clock. It's almost. So that's one way that we can tell that it's almost time, or that it's just a little before. Now, as our clock moves, we're going to put it a little bit after. So now we can tell that it's a little bit after 2 o'clock. So it's important to know whether or not it's before the time or after, whether or not you're early for a meeting or for a play date, or whether or not you're a little bit late to dance practice or to gymnastics or to a play date. Let's take a look at another one. Take a look at where the big hand is. It's not quite to the 12 yet, and our little hand isn't quite to the 8 yet. So is it a little bit before, or is it a little bit after? And what time would it be? What do you think? Did you have time to think about it? If you said that it's a little bit before 8 o'clock, then you were correct. And here it is here. So we can see that if we drew a line from our little hand down, it's a little bit before the 8. And since the big hand is almost to the 12, it's a little bit before 8 o'clock. So we would say it's a little bit before 8 o'clock, or it's almost 8 o'clock. Let's look at this one. So how would you say that this time would be? We have our big hand that's already past the 12 now, And our little hand is a little bit past the 10 as well. So is this a little before 10 or is it a little after 10? Think about that. If you said it's a little after 10, then you are absolutely correct. It's a little after 10 or it's a little after 10. I'll write it out. 10:00. All right, are you guys ready to practice this in your workbooks? Let's get to it. All right, so we see right here that we need to turn to page 97 and 98 in our math workbook. And here we are. Oops, here we are. So page 97 has a whole bunch of clocks on it. And what do we call these clocks again? We call them analog clocks. So it has 6 analog clocks, and then it looks like we're going to match up the time that it has. So this first clock, we're going to look, and it's going to show us that the little hand is just almost to the 6, and the big hand is on the 10. So it's close to the 12, but it's not quite there yet, is it? So is it a little bit after 6, or is it a little bit before 6? Let's find it. I think that it's close to 6 o'clock. It's close to 6 o'clock. And that's another way that we can say a little bit before. It's very close to 6 o'clock. We still have 10 minutes till 6 o'clock, don't we? But it's close to 6 o'clock. So we would draw our line all the way down to 6 o'clock. Let's look at this next one. It's almost, oh, no, it looks like it's already got to the 11. And our big hand is past the 12. So is it before 11 or is it after 11? What do you think? You show me. A little after 11 o'clock? A little before 4 o'clock? Well, we know it's not going to be that one. You match up the one that you think it is. And the rest of them, you're going to match up to the proper time. I see that there's also one that's almost half past. So make sure that you aren't tricked by that one. There's one that's almost half past or about half past. If you finish this, good job. You estimated time. That means that you took a time that wasn't exact and you estimated. You made like, oh, it's almost, it's just about, it's close to it, but it's not quite that time. So good job estimating time. All right, the next page you're going to do in math is page 98. And this page is all about saying what takes longer or what takes the longest amount of time. Remember last week when I had a towel on my head, or I had to clean my desk off, or I was brushing my teeth, or what else was I doing? Oh, I had my ski goggles on. That was to show you that some things take longer to do than other things. For instance, it might take you longer to do your kitty book when you're answering questions for your reader than it takes for you to do the math facts quiz, right? Because you only have 90 seconds or a minute and a half to do your math facts quiz. But your kitty book, it probably takes you a good 10, 15, 20 minutes to do. So it would take you longer to do your kitty book than to take a math facts quiz. That is what you're going to be doing here. So it should go pretty quickly. The first one, ignore this stuff down here. You are going to look at the two pictures and put a check mark in the box for the one that takes the longer amount of time. So the first one, he's watching a movie. And the second one, what's he doing? Oh, he's eating an ice cream cone. Which would take longer to do in terms of minutes? What would take longer? Put the check mark. And then your other one, you have 3 pictures to choose from. What takes longer? Counting to 5, painting a picture of a horse, or saying good morning to your teacher. Which one of those things takes the longest amount of time? That's it for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing review. I will see you later, little munchies. I'll see you for our reading. Bye-bye.